Every few months, there's a new skincare trend, which means a new routine, a new set of products you apparently need. Keeping up with your skincare became a financial decision, a significant one. I want to talk about how that happened, because the answer has nothing to do with your skin. I'm not a dermatologist. I'm not here to tell you which products work, but I'm here to find out who gets rich every time you feel insecure about your skin and why that insecurity keeps working on us, even when we know it's there. I went into this expecting a story about influencers and markup. What I found out was a bit more uncomfortable than that. The average American spends $492 a year on skincare. Women spend $600 a year on skincare, which, to be fair, is cheaper than therapy, but we're doing both. Nearly 1 in 10 Americans has gone into debt for it. Average beauty debt, $1,342. And that's not just a credit card issue anymore. In 2025, 22% of all buy now, pay later purchases were beauty products. Someone out there is getting a Klarna notification for $135 moisturizer. So the question is, how does a normal person end up there? Because none of this feels like one reckless decision. It feels like a series of completely reasonable ones. Every few years, the standard of how your skin is supposed to look like changes completely. Your actual face is somehow always one trend behind. And with every new skin aesthetic comes a new routine. Not just a product, a routine. There was a time when skincare meant washing your face, applying moisturizer, and maybe, if you feel responsible, apply sunscreen. Now apparently, I need a cleanser, a toner, 2 serums, a barrier repair cream, retinol, peptides, and a lead mask. And oh, mouth tape. Some of these nighttime routines look less like unwinding and more like clocking into a second shift. And with every new skin aesthetic, a new hero ingredient. Hyaluronic acid, then niacinamide, then snail mucin, which is basically snail slime that we collectively decided to put on our faces. Then PDRN, which stands for never mind, which is purified DNA extracted from, wait for it, from salmon sperm cells. At some point, after plants, acids, peptides, and snail slime, the industry looked at our faces and said, have we checked the fish section? And the wild part is that none of this feels like one big purchase. It feels like little responsible upgrades. A $24 serum here, $38 moisturizer there, a $60 mask because someone online said your skin barrier was compromised. And now you're emotionally involved. But once your simple nighttime routine turns into a 10-step routine and has 10 products in it, that's not a routine anymore. That's a subscription model. At first, this all looked random. Another trend, another product, another ingredient. But when you follow the money, it starts to look a lot less random. The global skincare market is currently generating over $200 billion in revenue, and it's projected to reach $273 billion in 2031. And the more I looked into how it got there, the stranger the story became. A few factors have contributed to this. Among them, you guessed it, social media. Social media didn't just give the industry a new marketing channel, it gave the industry something far more valuable. It gave millions of people a new relationship with their faces, and that was priceless. Zoom calls, front-facing cameras, beauty filters that smoothed and corrected your face in real time. Hours spent looking at yourself in a way that no previous generation had. And the more you saw your face on a daily basis, the more you noticed things about it you'd never even thought about before. The industry was watching. During the pandemic, specifically skincare sales didn't just hold steady, they surged. We were stuck at home, staring at ourselves on screens more than any generation before us. Search interest in skincare and dermatology spiked globally during the pandemic. And for the first time, the front-facing camera became a mirror we couldn't put down. Something about the level of self-visibility changed our relationship with our own faces. Hold that thought. We'll come back to that in a minute, because I think that little moment explains a lot. But first, let's follow the money. The industry figured out something far more valuable than a good product. It figured out a good problem. And once you start looking behind the curtain, the industry gets even stranger. Because a lot of these brands that feel completely different online aren't actually that different at all. CeraVe, the dermatologist, recommended clinically responsible choice, and Lancome and Armani Beauty, the luxury aspirational counter, same parent company, L'Oreal. The gap between how these brands are perceived is enormous. Different aesthetics, different packaging, different price points. These companies make extraordinary margins on skincare. The feeling of finally discovering the brand that understands your skin is often a very well-funded feeling. There's a pattern across the skincare industry that becomes very clear when you look at how the money actually moves. Skincare brands, as a category, consistently spend more money on marketing their products than on making them. L'Oreal is the largest beauty company in the world, and their 2024 financial report shows exactly how this works in practice. That year, they spent 11.2 billion euros on costs of sales, everything it takes to actually manufacture their products across every brand they own. They spent 14 billion euros on advertising and promotion and 1.3 billion euros on research and innovation. So for every euro spent on research, 10 went to marketing. L'Oreal is one example, but the structure is consistent across the industry. The investment isn't in what's inside the bottle, it's in making you believe it's worth it. And this is where it shifts. Because once you know how the money flows, the margins, the marketing, you realize the industry isn't actually selling skincare. It's selling the feeling that your skin is always almost there. That one more product closes the gap. The skincare industry profits most when you believe your skin is perpetually unfinished. That's the business model. All of that explains how the industry built the machine. But it doesn't explain why we kept coming back, even when we could read the ingredients list. I think the answer has nothing to do with the products. That's what I want to get into now. The industry figured out something far more valuable than a good formula. It figured out that if it could make your skin feel like a project, something permanently in progress, always one product away from where it should be, you would keep coming back. I've been thinking about this, and I think there are 3 reasons we kept buying. Before the internet told us about pores, did we think about pores? Before the skin barrier became a thing, did we really give it much thought? Insecurity arrived before the product. The playbook is consistent. Isolate a normal feature of a human skin, give it a clinical sounding name, frame it as something that needs correcting. Self-correction. Then find the next feature. Pores, texture, skin barrier, hyperpigmentation. The list of problems your face has keeps getting longer, and the list of things they can sell you to fix that as a solution to your problem keeps on getting longer and longer. And I want to be honest here. I have bought the things because someone with a good lighting and a very convincing before and after shot convinced me it was the right thing to do. I built a routine that felt like progress, even when I couldn't exactly see it or define what progress looked like. My under-eye situation remains completely unimpressed with everything I have thrown at it. At some point, the beauty industry made a very deliberate move. They rebranded buying products as therapy. Spending $300 at Sephora was self-care or self-love. It stopped being overconsumption. It became an act of self-love. And this matters because the guilt that was stopping us from making those decisions, like, do I actually need this, has been completely bypassed. When the purchase is framed as health, you're not buying a serum, you're investing in yourself. Consumer research found that one utilitarian claim, just one, is enough to reduce the guilt of an indulgent purchase entirely. The industry didn't invent self-care. It just attached a price tag to it. Your skincare routine is now cheaper than therapy. And somehow, this became the socially acceptable alternative. And this is the one thing I keep coming back to. Think about what a skincare routine actually feels like. Same products, same order, same 5 minutes, morning and night. In a day that might be completely chaotic, this part goes exactly the way you expect it to. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the appeal was never about the products. Maybe it was about having one small corner of your life that felt intentional, controlled, yours. One-step routine isn't really skincare. It's a coping mechanism with a very expensive product line attached to it. The industry didn't grow during the pandemic because people suddenly needed better skin. It grew because people needed something they could control. To be clear, I'm not saying the industry created the anxiety, but learned how to sell to it. 3 reasons. They created the insecurity, they repackaged spending as self-love, they gave us a ritual that made us feel like we were doing something. The result is an industry that profits most when you believe that your skin is unperpetually finished, which raises the only question worth asking at the end of all of this. Did I choose this, or was it chosen for me? And I want to be honest, because I'm not outside of this. I have products on my shelf that I bought because the marketing was very good. Things I was convinced I needed by people whose little job is to convince me. I think that a lot of us are in some version of this. We bought things, we built routines, we followed the trends. I'm trying to understand why modern life keeps making us feel behind. Why the answer always seems to be about buying something. If you want more thoughtful conversations like this, subscribe. I'd love to have you from the start. And honestly, I didn't expect to end up here. I thought I was making a video about overpriced serums. What I actually found was a system that is very good at making you feel like the problem is your skin. It isn't. There are products that work. Dermatologists can tell you which ones are right for you. That's a different conversation, and it's worth having. It's not what most of us are buying when we add the 10th product to our routine. We're buying the feeling that we're doing something, the ritual, the story, packaging that makes it feel like self-improvement. The industry needs you to believe there's always one more product between you and the skin you want. The moment you stop believing that, you become a much less valuable customer. That's worth knowing. I still have products I bought because I thought they're gonna change my life, or because I saw someone that convinced me to. But in retrospect, that was probably just good lighting. The industry is always going to keep finding new ingredients, new trends, new problems. Your face apparently has. The salmon sperm won't be the last one. There's already something after it. There's always going to be something after it. Question worth sitting with: at what point taking care of yourself start to feel like falling behind?